Alright, I had to stop for a bathroom break. Figured I'd set the camera up again and tell y'all a little story about how the Lord's been working in my life. I thought it was pretty cool, so I'll share it. So, a couple weeks ago, did a video, and I was talking about divine appointments and like how God's timing is everything, even down to stoplights taking too long, trains running whenever you're in a hurry, people in front of you going slow when you need to trying to hurry up and pass them, but God having you in certain places at a certain time for divine appointments. So last weekend I had went to the living room in Marianna, which is a place that a few friends gather, and it's actually grew quite a bit, and we worship together and have Bible study, small lessons, stuff like that, and deliverances. Shout out to Absolute Remnant, all the disciples under them. Hope y'all having a great day. Also, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm passing through Kinston. I just had to stop, use the bathroom. I'll be there in just a bit. So anyway, Saturday, I went up there and we did the lesson and was moving on into praise and worship, but I have a curfew at the Sober Living to be back by 10. So I had to leave earlier, but we had ordered pizza, right? So I took a whole pizza with me, and I was eating a few pieces on the way home. And when I left there, I was like, I had a great worship time, and been prayed over and stuff. So I was like, Lord, I really want to hear from you. So I rode home in silence, listening for the Lord. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything from him, Matter of fact, like how I just made a video about praising while I was riding along, I was actually singing a song to myself and coming up with my own words, made my own little praise song. Don't ask me what it was, what the words were. I could never remember it for nothing in my life. But I was getting to 23rd Street and turning on to 23rd Street. I'm like, all right, I looked over, I seen the pizza. I was like, all right, Lord, if I ain't going to hear from you, at least show me somebody to give this food to, somebody that could use it. And I got to the stoplight on 23rd Street right there by, I think that might be Harrison. That's not Harrison. Anyways, the stoplight by Chick-fil-A. There's a gas station and a McDonald's back behind it. And I thought I heard the Lord say, hey, turn right here and go over to that gas station. But, I talked myself out of it, like, no, that's my voice I'm hearing. I want it. I want so bad to be hearing from the Lord right now that I'm trying to force it. I'm making it up. Well, as I went through the stoplight, like, he really started to impress on me. Like, I felt it deep in my spirit to turn, go to that gas station, go over there by that gas station. Cool. So I cut through a parking lot to actually get there this time, and whenever I cut through the parking lot, I passed by McDonald's, and there happens to be a man standing out, like, in front of the McDonald's. Some of them's got little tables out front. You can sit outside to eat if you wanted to. Well, he's standing in front of the big plate glass window with his hands behind his back, just staring in. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, either he's staring in, trying to work up the courage to ask somebody to buy him something to eat, or he's ashamed of his situation, but he's hoping somebody will see him staring at it, know he's hungry, and take the initiative and ask him, hey man, do you want something to eat? So I pulled up beside him, like, dude, are you hungry? I'm like, hey dude, you hungry? And he turned around, and I realized then he was a Spanish guy and he barely spoke English. Yeah. He said, he came over to the car, like, you want this pizza? And he was tearing the pizza up before I could pull off, like he was legit hungry. But God works in little ways like that if we'll just listen for him to talk to us. And then, of course, question if it's his voice or not, which I do because I question everything. I don't want this to be about self. I want it to be about him. But the divine appointment part of this is on the way back from Marianna. They were redoing 230. They were working on 231 in between Youngstown and Panama City that night. So it was one lane. And I got behind somebody doing 25 miles per hour when the speed limit was still 50. And it was about to drive me crazy. But now I see it in hindsight's 2020 that if I'd have been doing a regular speed limit, I wouldn't have been at the stoplights, and I'd have been at the stoplights. I wouldn't have heard the voice of God tell me to go to the store when I went to that store. And I could have missed the guy standing there at that window just wanting something to eat. The Bible says that if we run across somebody who is this is complete paraphrasing this, it doesn't sound nothing like this when you read it, but when we run across people who are in need and in help, that need help for anything, like if we walk up to them and the verse goes something like and say, blessings on you or whatever, but then see that they're cold and we walk off and we don't offer them a coat or a shirt or something, then how are we even doing the will of the Lord? How are we looking like Jesus? How are we loving someone more than we love ourselves if we're like that? I kind of make it a personal point to try not to hold on to much. I know the world tells us we're supposed to, like we're supposed to own a home, own cars, own stuff, nice stuff, dependable stuff, which I get the idea behind that. But now I see that it all just crumbles away. There's a prayer in one of the psalmists, I want to say his name is Aegir, Agur, or maybe you are. But he says in there, he's like, Lord, give me just enough so that I don't forget my need for you. But once again, that's paraphrasing. Because as soon as I have enough to keep me satisfied, then how do I know I even need the Lord anymore? Like, how do I know I'm not going to put myself back on that pedestal? Am I going to let a Tobias move in and stop giving him my first fruits? Am I going to stop giving him my best because I feel like my need for him has been quenched? I pray my need for the Lord to fill in for him, the want for him never is quenched. Now, I just wanted to share that story. I'm getting closer to my destination. I hope that inspires somebody. I hope it helps somebody. I hope it encourages somebody. Love y'all.